What if everything you've been told about healing your gut is backwards, and the very things you're doing to fix it are actually keeping you sick? Think about it. Digestive aids may not be healing your gut at all. They may be keeping you dependent on them. The fillers and excipients in most supplements like stearates can actually block absorption and make your nutrients less bioavailable. And those protective enteric coatings, they often contain phthalates, the same chemicals that damage your immune system, which is only one cell layer away from your gut lining. And here's the biggest twist. What you're eating may not be the main issue compared to what's eating you. Stress, unresolved trauma, hidden sources of inflammation, and even parasites can quietly sabotage every gut protocol out there. My name is Dr. Glenn, and in my 30s, I found out that I was dying, but then discovered how your body, mind, and spirit together can work to heal anything naturally. Now I'm 69 and have also changed thousands of lives. In this video, I'll show you the real reason your gut isn't healing and why the common solutions often backfire, and what you can do instead to finally support true regeneration from the inside out. So what's the real reason your gut isn't healing? It's not usually just one thing. Gut problems build up in layers, getting buried and hidden like archaeology. And those layers accumulate over years and decades. The body has an incredible capacity to adapt, but eventually the load becomes too heavy and symptoms show up. Here's the important part. Those layers tend to heal in the reverse order they appeared. In other words, the most recent stresses are the first to resolve when the body is given the right support. And as each layer clears, deeper ones rise to the surface for resolution. That's why true gut healing is a process, not just a quick fix. What kinds of layers are we talking about? It can start with chronic stress on the immune system, most of which is in the small intestine, such as from childhood vaccinations, followed by diet, years of processed foods, sugar, and chemicals in the standard American diet. Add to that the loss of a healthy microbiome from antibiotics, with more antibiotics fed to the pork industry than prescribed to humans. Toxicity builds up. Heavy metals, pesticides, plastics, silently stressing the system. Over time, the immune system gets even more dysregulated, overreacting to poorly digested foods and underreacting to real threats. And all the while, stress, emotional, mental, even unresolved trauma, chips away at resilience. Each layer adds up until the gut can't keep up, and you're left with chronic issues. The reason your gut hasn't healed isn't because it can't. It's because these underlying layers haven't been addressed with the support they need from nature and in the right sequence. Once we start peeling them back in reverse order, the gut's natural intelligence knows exactly how to repair itself. So if gut issues build up in layers over time, the key isn't forcing the body to change symptoms with more drugs or even just avoiding triggers with restrictive diets. The real breakthrough comes when we start listening to the body's own intelligence, because your body already knows the exact sequence it needs to heal. And when we support that agenda, healing accelerates naturally. This is where accelerated self-healing comes in. Instead of chasing symptoms, we tune into the body's own signals and follow its healing priorities. Your body isn't broken. It's brilliant. It has an exact sequence, an agenda for unwinding the stresses that have built up over time. And when we align with that sequence, healing can happen faster than you'd ever expect. We call the deepest sources of imbalance heads of causal chains. These are the root stresses that trigger whole cascades of symptoms downstream. It might be a toxic exposure, an immune system dysfunction, unresolved trauma, or a disruption in your microbiome. But here's the secret. When the body resolves the head of a causal chain, the downstream symptoms it caused, sometimes several at once, can disappear naturally. Accelerated self-healing isn't about adding more and more treatments. In fact, it usually requires fewer capsules than methods that are less precisely targeted. It's about giving the body exactly what it needs at the right moment to unlock its own repair mechanisms. That might mean restoring mitochondrial function, clearing toxicity, rebalancing the nervous system, or modulating immune function. And because we're working with the body's priorities, not against them, the process compounds. Each layer that heals makes the next one easier to resolve. That's why so many people experience rapid transformations once they start. Problems they've battled for years can shift in weeks or even days, not because we force the change, but because we finally started listening and giving the body what it is crying out for. So once you understand that real healing isn't about fighting symptoms, but supporting the body's intelligence, the next question is, how do you apply this in your own life? The good news is you don't need a complicated protocol or expensive lab tests. You just need to start with a few key things that align with your body's natural agenda for repair. And I'll show you exactly how to begin today. Instead of suppressing every symptom, learn how to read and interpret the changing patterns as you uncover deeper layers of root cause. Is your energy crashing after certain foods? Do you get brain fog when you're stressed? These aren't random annoyances. They're your body's way of pointing to the next layer of healing. You'll learn how to interpret any changes in 10 seconds. Tracking signals is the first step to unlocking your body's agenda. Begin clearing out daily sources of stress your body doesn't need to fight. That could mean upgrading your diet away from processed foods, switching to clean supplements without harmful excipients, and even reducing toxic exposures like plastics and chemicals. Every stress you remove frees up more energy for healing. Healing requires energy. Simple practices like increasing hydration tenfold with smaller water clusters and restorative sleep so your brain can finally cleanse. Even 15 minutes twice a day, just relaxing in a healing energy field, can reverse the effects of 40 years of aging on circulation. Start with these three, and you'll be amazed how quickly your body begins to respond once you align with its priorities. And if you want a clear roadmap tailored to your unique situation, that's exactly what I help doctors, coaches, and even self-healers with in one-on-one sessions. You'll find a link below this video where you can set up a time to meet with me on Zoom. By the way, if you want to learn how I had glaucoma at 25, reversed it, and still have perfect vision at 45 years later, then check out this video on the next screen.